What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Halloween Horror Reviews 2024. First of all, I just want to say before I continue on, thank you all so much for watching the previous two reviews of this year's reviews. That would be Resident Evil Afterlife and The Strangers. But we're now at week 2 for horror reviews. And you know what? Kicking things off for this week, it's going to be, let's just say, a roller coaster ride of blood and gore. Before I continue on with this review, I just want to say, guys, welcome to the channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that it's a feature video, it's a feature review, top 5 reaction, whatever I have coming your way. Join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because we want to say this, guys. You're not going to want to miss the cool shit I have coming your way. And for those of you coming back, welcome back. You have no idea how happy I'm to see your faces once again. Now, usually every year for Halloween Horror Reviews, me and this guy over here do a collaboration review for every single one. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we did The Lost Boys last year, and I mentioned the reviews I was going to plan this year, and he said, let's do VHS. And I just thought, okay. So, today, I am here to talk about VHS 2 in the VHS franchise with my buddy, Mr. Garrison. Introduce yourself, buddy.
You know, looks like I don't really need this son of a bitch this time because this ain't on my fucking channel, so I should just put that aside. God damn, so much for having this all fucking prepared and everything.
Hey, it's a nice little device that you have there. I didn't say your favorite word, so you can't get on my ass about that.
Maybe it's because my fucking old ass is too in that millennium of VHS, is because that's what I love more than Blu-rays. Nothing against Blu-rays. I love VHSs more than Blu-rays, than fucking 4Ks or laser discs or the streaming
Betamax.
stuff. Betamax, Cinemax, whatever the fuck it is. HBO. I guess I won't be needing this. Maybe, but not right now.
Who knows?
So we're talking about VHS, huh? We're talking about a specific type of VHS. It's not just a VHS where you go to a local Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or some sort of store that sells VHS, Circuit City. Oh, excuse me, they don't exist anymore. Fuck me.
Unfortunately, not.
Well, yeah, so fuck me again. So VHS, this particular VHS is not necessarily the VHS we're going to be talking about, where you can just put into the VCR, press play, get all the trailers, and go right into your movie. No, this is a specific trailer. No, this ain't. I'm not talking about The Ring. We're talking about a specific VHS that contains a collaboration. That's a big word right there. Yes, a collaboration of various horror movies that was discovered by some police, if I am not mistaken.
Well, in this movie, it was the whole frame narrative is that it's a private investigator and his partner that have been called to say, hey, like, from a kid saying, or by this kid's parents saying, hey, our kid's missing, go to this place. And they discover this huge television set that happened to have been from the first VHS film. And like in the first VHS, and this has become a staple of the franchise, which is, by the way, there's been about, if I'm not mistaken, about 9 of these movies altogether. 9 of these movies.
Too many fucking VHS. Never-ending stories.
And the whole staple is that with each succeeding tape going by, something's happened in the form of whether the environment has changed, things happened to the character, and each specific tape or short film deals with a different genre of horror. Like, there might be a thing about zombies, cults, the supernatural, technology stuff. There are 4 segments with a huge overarching story. The first one involving, like, we were just talking actually off camera, a guy getting an experimental eye because
it's a fucking video camera, because the thing is that after what happened to his eye, he ends up getting this fucking video camera eye because the doctors want to watch every single move that he does, and even if he wants to beat his meat, he'll never be in private because they want to moderate him almost 24 hours a day, even when he's sleeping or whatever the hell he wants to do. They have to moderate him because the thing is that this particular eye, this video camera that he has, is a bit of a experiment.
Yep, it's an experiment that they say, well, look, it glitches. You may see things there.
I believe the first one, it's called Tape 49 / oh no, it's called Phase Clinical Trial, excuse me.
Correct, clinical
This
trials.
was directed by none other than Adam Wingard.
Yes, it was.
This was directed by none other than Adam Wingard. And Adam Wingard, he has done some interesting stuff with his realm of film throughout the years. This was diving into the realm of both supernatural, paranormal, modern technology experiment. It has a bit of mixture of a lot of things going on with this little short film. POV perspective and all that stuff. He ends up meeting this girl who is, well, not only are they friends, keep that in mind, but she also realized that this guy is not necessarily hallucinating, because once all this shit starts to transpire, where it's little by little, starting with poltergeist, then it becomes apparitions, and this fucking girl who is apparently being haunted by these apparitions as well, she comes into this guy's house to try and stall these ghosts or do whatever to fucking mock them in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say mock, but there's a clear rule that she gives to him, and that she's like, hey, let's do this so that they don't have to get right to the point, I guess.
Yeah, it didn't necessarily work out.
No, it didn't, unfortunately.
It didn't work out, because you saw what happened to the girl. She ended up fucking drowning.
Yeah.
And the dude, well, if I'm not mistaken, he went into some sort of fucking shock where it's just...
Oh, yeah, he did. He met a... Oh, my God. His demise? Holy shit. From there, we go to a segment called, I believe it's Walk in the Park, if I'm not mistaken.
But also, you got to look at it like this, though. After each segment, you start to see this missing person. You start to see some video entries that he does of explaining his mental state, what's going on. And with his mental state, it just starts to get worse and worse and worse after each particular video that you watch. Now, this next one is called Orion in the Park. This was directed by Eduardo Sanchez and Greg Hale. So this one was very interesting and definitely picking up just a little bit. By the way, as for the first one, I thought the first one was okay. I think the weakest one of this movie. Good, really? But it didn't necessarily catch my main entrance. But this particular one right here, which is a zombie apocalypse type premise.
Yeah.
So, guy and his girlfriend, they're riding their bike, has a camera on his helmet, all of a sudden gets bitten by a fucking zombie, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose where they turn into zombies after laying there for a few minutes, gets right up and starts attacking everybody. They start going in this fucking birthday party trying to kill all these people. But I got to give credit this way. The makeup effects were quite nice.
Terrific. Yeah, they're terrific. And by the way, fun fact, one of the co-directors of this movie, short, co-directed the original Blair Witch Project. Fun fact for you. And the best I can describe this short is like, have you ever played the game Stubbs the Zombie by chance?
I have not.
So it's a game where you literally play as a zombie, and the objective is just to kill as many people as possible. This is literally Stubbs the Zombie in a movie form.
And
it's fun. It's just fun.
That's what I like about it, is that, and the thing is, when almost in any zombie film, at least within the modern millennium that you see right here, like when this came out, you don't really get many films that incorporate that type of fun you want to see.
No, you don't.
However, though, in this one, though, that element of entertainment is in this particular short, and I couldn't help but have fun with that. But here's the thing, though, there ends up being somewhat of an emotional feeling in this film as well, because once he ends up looking in his reflection and sees exactly what he has became, it shows that he wasn't all dead.
No.
Like, he was still alive. Like, his fucking soul was still alive right then and there. It's just that after he got infected and became a zombie, he couldn't control that or that instinct. But once he saw himself, that little instinct right there, so he took the shotgun, you saw what he did to himself.
Yep. This one is just like, okay, let's just have a fun time with a zombie POV. And that's what you get out of this. It's a fun, and it's actually quite funny at times. There's some really funny black comedy in there too.
It's got a little entertainment in there once a little bit, so that breaks the monotony a little bit. Definitely picks up the pace of the film. Then you get to the next interlude where you get the next tape going, like I said, going into more of this dude's mental state, and
correct.
It's just paper for this poor motherfucker.
not to mention as well, the girl that's watching these tapes, you can see that these, not only the tapes, but the guy, the dude who is having the bad mental state, she's being affected as well to the point where she's like really like losing her fucking mind herself. So it's really going both
Yeah.
ways. And
So
then,
okay.
oh boy,
This next fucking tape. Okay.
Mm.
I'm gonna probably pronounce the name wrong for this director. His name is Timo Tajanto. I probably said his name wrong.
Probably,
But
but I
then
would
you
pronounce
have
it wrong.
this motherfucker right here, Gareth Evans. This son of a bitch, man. He made the Raid and Raid 2. He did Apostle. He's got another new movie at some point in the works, which I can't wait to watch. And the fact that this motherfucker,
by the way,
you want to know what I like about Gareth Evans? This son of a bitch proves that he can make a good horror movie.
And not to mention as well,
even if it's a short.
Oh yeah,
he's got the creative mindset of making a horror movie.
And on top of that, this man knows how to ramp up the tension slowly. Like this is the best way I can describe is what is Safe Haven. And to summarize the best way to summarize the plot, and I know that Gary and I have been doing like short descriptions, like kind of small spoilers. This is one in which I actually want to save the surprise for you guys, because literally all the guys have to know about is this. It's a group of journalists that get invited to this haven. The short starts off at like 10 miles per hour, right? Goes to 100 miles per hour, and then it ends off at 1,000 miles per hour.
This movie goes beyond 1,000. It goes an exceeding limit that you can't even necessarily comprehend of reaching. It goes faster than a race car, for Christ's sakes.
The way how this
it goes faster than a rocket. It goes fucking fast. Your fucking heart, your goddamn balls, your nipples, everything is gonna be pulsating with fucking adrenaline.
And the way how the short ends is goddamn brilliant.
Brilliant is an understatement. Brilliant is an understatement. This, to me, was the definition of a masterful short horror film where it takes a premise. It starts off with 1, then it goes to 100. It takes a concept that you've barely ever seen in film in general or at all. Then it's something creative, and plus in a first-person perspective.
Yeah.
And the fact that as shit progresses of what they are worshiping and what they are dealing with, this shit will keep you fucking just on your toes.
Dude, it's like basically when you think you've said holy shit enough, it just keeps coming.
It's like when you have diarrhea. It's like after you go to fucking Taco Bell. You end up eating all the fucking gimmicks and shit that they have, and the fucking the hottest hot sauce that they have is when you go to fucking Taco Bell. You eat the tacos, you eat the burritos, you eat the fucking chalupas and enchiladas, or other bullshit that Taco Bell gives you. And you want to know what happens after you try and wash it down with a Baja Blast, thinking that the Baja Blast will soothe your stomach even after taking Pepto-Bismol or some sort of fucking Tums. That ain't going to soothe your stomach. You want to know what's going to happen? The fucking shit that's going on in this movie is the shit coming out of your ass. It's literally fucking diarrhea dookie coming out mile a minute. And it's all sorts. You got the tear droppings. You got the mushy bushy. You got the whoopie boopies. You also got the fucking Lincoln Logs coming out. You got all sorts of shit coming out of your fucking ass. That's what Safe Haven is doing. It's literally shit coming out of your ass a mile a minute. Even when you're done eating that Taco Bell from watching this, you're gonna shit again just to think when it's all out of your system because this movie's gonna make you shit again. God damn, Gareth Evans gets my dick hard.
This thing, when I was watching it again, as soon as it got to the guy in the car, I was like, oh shit. And you kept on hearing the fucking demon just like pouncing and pouncing and bam.
He wasn't.
God. I clapped again the moment it ended. I did a clap the moment it ended again. Like I was like, that's how you fucking do a short film right there. That's how you do it. And the next bit of the tape 49, which is the overarching segment, we see that this girl who had been watching these tapes is not in a good state.
She's
Oh, yes,
dead.
she
Like
does.
she's like mentally dead after seeing this.
And then the guy who's with her, the PI, comes in, watches the last short, and then we get to Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which to me I think is actually the weakest short out of all of them.
This was directed by Jason Eisner.
Yes.
I am not necessarily too familiar with his work, let alone I don't know really. I don't really know who he is as an actor, or not an actor.
Director.
I don't really know who he is as a director that much. But I will say though, his filming for this one, it was okay for what it is.
Okay.
I do like the concept where instead of coming from a human's perspective, it's coming from a dog's perspective because he's got one of those cameras.
I did like that, but there's a bit of this thing where I was like, did you have to do it? Really?
There was some sort of illogical things going on, and one of my other problems I kind of had was there was a lot of shakiness going on. Like it was hard to see exactly of this. It was hard to keep track of the alien abduction that was going on because I understand from the dog's perspective, but it was hard to see the aliens coming in and infesting this fucking slumber party that these kids are having, and trying to survive, shoot them or hit them. It was hard to see exactly what they were doing, and sometimes the camera does get a little, I don't know if foggy is the right word or blurry.
I will say though, I will say that sequence where they're doing that prank when they're coming out of the water and like I'm shooting them, when they're going back down, seeing that little image of that creature, I was like, what the fuck was that? Like there are some moments in the short where it's like, whoa. And plus when you see the designs of the aliens, they're actually kind of creepy too. Like they're really fucking creepy.
When you do get some work, like I said, the makeup and effects in this movie is fucking. It's simple, but they know how to make it look scary, and I have to give a lot of credit.
I found the characters in that short just unlikable too. Like there isn't a single person I was like, well, minus the dog, excuse me. Minus the dog and a couple other people, I was like, the aliens could just get these people. I can all give a fuck about these people.
It was hard to feel sympathetic for these characters just a little bit because there wasn't any personality. It was like, okay, you got a little alien abduction, so it's there.
There are some fun moments in this. Like there's some good tension building moments, but a lot of the time I was just thinking, yeah, this should have probably been like the second short or maybe the third one, and let's Safe Haven have been the last one because this. Yeah, I don't think that this should have been the last short. I mean, again, there are some fun moments. There are genuinely some good, like, holy shit moments. But in terms of like being like the film or the short to be the last short to end this particular film with, this is probably the weakest one he could have chosen to end it on.
It goes right into tape 49 as a whole of what the epilogue is, and let's just say it wasn't it was quite disturbing. You end up seeing exactly what fucking Kyle did to himself, where he tried to, and he ended up surprisingly surviving. And after they shut the camera off, and then
I mean, how this thing ends all together is like, whoa, okay, that was a ballsy ending. But I like the ending of VHS 2 overall.
So to give my overall talk on this fucking film, it's awesome. It's an awesome movie. Like I said, the first one, that to me was somewhat, I wouldn't say the weakest one, but it was the beginning of what's become. You had your paranormal, you had your little experiments, you had your supernatural going on, then you had your little zombie fun, then you got your crazy ass Symphony of the Devil situation going on.
That's a good way to do it, yeah.
And you had your little alien abduction. So you had a lot of things going on in this film, like all sorts of forms or genres of horror that anybody likes or has a particular preference or taste. You got it in this movie, and you get a bit of taste of everything. So if anybody who wants a zombie or an alien or some sort of devil shit or paranormal, you'll get it in this movie. You'll get a lot of things you like. So I honestly gave this movie a solid 4.
Oh, okay. VHS 2, it takes a concept that the first movie did where, again, like the first VHS film has 2 tapes that wasn't too particularly big on, But VHS 2, I like every tape in this thing, but like there's obviously for me the weakest one is Alien Summer Party, that one. But
Mm-hmm.
starts off really, really good, gets to a point where it just peaks. And it just kind of goes like, okay, that's the last one. Okay, that could have been better. But how it ends all together makes you go, holy crap. And so, and for that reason, I do think this movie is not only better, but scarier than that first movie. I'm also going to say this movie is a straight up 4 out of 5. It's a hell of a sequel, and it does everything that a sequel should be. There are some pitfalls, obviously, but as an overall sequel, they did a terrific job with this one. I do think it's a better sequel. It's a better film than the first movie. Alrighty, guys, with all that being said, that's going to wrap it up for Gary and I's review, our discussion for VHS 2. I hope you all enjoyed it. If so, hit the like button, or hey, if you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Gary, where can the fine folks find you at?
Anywhere, any place, anytime, here, there, everywhere. You can check out the Mystic Garrison 96 channel or the NG2C Network channel if you want. It's
With
there.
that being said, guys, I'll see you next time.